What has to change is that you do what you do with the integrity of the intended purpose, okay? With honor. Another way of saying it, that you do it with honor of a code. With honor is also an organization that's fighting polarization in Congress by supporting principled veterans, okay? Why? Because we all respect veterans, or should. Because we know they've had a training, they know they put themselves on the line for us, and they have an inculcation of values that are hard to find in American society. I'm not saying that veterans are perfect. I'm not saying that they can't succumb to different things just like the rest of us, but I'm saying they got a head start in a lot of cases, okay? And this organization is encouraging veterans of both parties to take the honor pledge to serve country and duty first, not just to play this left-right BS game. And I think it's a really good idea. And yeah, it's just a pledge, but it's a step in the right direction. And Rye Barcott is trying to get it done, writing about it, spreading it as a message, and hopefully making it a movement. And I wanted to give him an opportunity to tell you about it. Rye, can you hear me?
Chris, great to be on. Thank you for having me. You're the first person I'm talking to before the book launches. Tomorrow. It's called Courage Can Save Us. And as you mentioned, it documents 10 of the veterans, 9 veterans and 1 FBI agent specifically, that my organization that I co-founded with the late David Gergen, a great mentor who I miss dearly, over 9 years ago, have supported for elected office. We've backed over 200 vets across the country. You know, veterans used to be as high as 70% of the U.S. Congress. Now it's about 20%. But this is one of the few nonpartisan, we call it cross-partisan groups, because we support veterans from both parties as well as independents that run, and take this pledge to serve with integrity, as you just said, civility, believe it or not, civility, it does exist still, and courage, including the courage to work across party lines. And a lot of what I try to emphasize in this book is where that courage came from, their upbringing, what led them initially to serve their country, to put their life potentially at risk for their country, many of whom were after September 11th. I served in the Marines in Iraq after 9/11, and they're just a great group of inspiring individuals. We're going to kick the book off tomorrow at the 92nd Street Y with 3 of them, Governors Wes Moore and Mikey Sherrill. Mikey Sherrill is the first woman veteran ever elected to become a governor, and Representative Don Bacon, one of the highest-ranking military officers in Congress. He retired as a brigadier general. That's at the 92nd Street Y. I think there might still be some tickets available. Love to have any of your viewers that are interested in this join us.
So, look, it's a great effort. Let's test it, okay? No one's going to argue veterans suck, okay? So you got a little bit of a head start on this. But the criticism is, here's the problem, is that the political culture and the binary nature of it is an enemy you guys haven't figured out how to beat yet, and these guys wind up playing the game like everybody else. There ain't no John McCain's out there anymore. These guys, these men and women are just Democrats and Republicans, and they're just picking their sides, and they don't do anything really differently or better than anybody else does these days.
Yeah, I mean, most Americans want to see more courage. They know the country was built on courage, and they feel like it's basically absent or non-existent.
Yeah, but they see courage these days, Rye. You see it differently. That's what I want to give you an opportunity to counter.
That's
right
right.
Now, courage is,
that's right.
I'm going to cut you off, and I'm going to say you're a pansy, and you hate the country, and you are a I don't know, let me think of some other insult. You are a disgrace. You're a disgrace to your service. That's courage these days.
That's right. That's right. And really what courage is, the definition of it, is a active choice to face risk. You understand the risk. You think about the risk, and then you go and you serve the common good, not yourself, the common good. It can be a principle. It can be your family. It can be your community. It can be the country. But it's that service ethos. And listen, everybody in the politics is facing trade-offs. These, 10 men and women aren't perfect. But what I do is I focus on moments where they made a choice and put their reputations, as often moral courage, there's also physical courage, as we've seen. There's so much political violence that happens these days. But this is often moral courage, where they're putting their reputations on the line. Yeah, I'll give you an example with Don Bacon last week. We were with him at the House Triangle and Brian Fitzpatrick, two of whom were profiled in the book, and they made a tough stance. They have said all along that Ukraine's one of their top issues. Bacon refers to it as an issue that he'll fall on his sword for, and they forced what's called a discharge petition. They had to cross their leadership. They've, certainly, faced some criticism from their peers, but they pushed that effort in order to make a stance against Russian aggression, and they got that through the House, one of the first, Ukraine bills in over a year and a half. And so that's an example of sometimes it's with your party, sometimes it's against your party, but it's being willing to actually put yourself at risk for the common good. It still exists. It's just in short supply. The incentives aren't aligned for it. We need to celebrate those moments when they occur. And by the way, there are plenty of Democrats as well that are profiled for going up against positions of the Biden administration, for example, including a couple of the two members that were some of the first to call for President Biden to not run again when his health was declining.
I agree with all of it. And how receptive are people to it, in your opinion? I know the book comes out tomorrow, but you've been doing this and you've been thinking about this. And why do you believe this could be a part of something that motivates real change? Why do you think it would work when there's so much pressure on fealty to a side? Like, if you're a Republican right now, what would make you think that lifting your head up and saying, hey, I got to disagree with the president on this one. We need to do something about this. I'm going to work with what's going to come. Why would people do it? What do you think it can do?
Yeah. Well, I've been doing this for, 9 years at the best hours of my life, and it is countercultural. It is hard, but I know that it's possible because I've seen it. And we support 50 veterans that are currently in office from both parties equally that still put the country first, serve first. Like, it's there, but we don't recognize it. Oftentimes we punish it. One of the guys that's profiled in the book lost his primary race because he, took a stand. And this is real. The book itself is Courage Can Save Us. The U and the S are capitalized. There's a little crack in the U, right? There's a little crack. We're hurting. Let's face it. But I also firmly believe we are not as divided as our information environment makes it out to be. You've mentioned this on your show repeatedly, and I love your show, that 40% of Americans, more than 40%, are unaffiliated. And that's the highest moving political non-party, basically, political party, it's not a party. In the last 15 years, that number has gone from about 30% to 40%. So more and more Americans feel like they don't have a political home. We are not as divided as our, information environment makes it feel like we are. And so this is countercultural. I don't know how well it's going to be received. I hope it will be received widely, and especially, I wrote it for everybody, but especially for students, because I think that many students out there, many younger Americans, like my kids, are feeling isolated, lonely. They don't feel the same divides, and they want to find a sense of purpose. And the sense of purpose is service. Again, courage is service. It is serving the common good, not yourself. And service can take many forms. It can be the military. That was incredibly meaningful for me. But it can also be, you're a volunteer firefighter. Serve in some capacity. You can be a teacher. One of the other groups that still has trusts across party lines, there are not many of them in the United States. Veterans is one of them. But the one that has the highest trust, are nurses, for example. Mm-hmm. So there are many ways to serve. And that's one of my driving goals with this book, is that hopefully it encourages people to serve and, frankly, cross this divide, right? The divide is real, but I don't think it's as large as as again, the information environment makes it up.
I think that a great initiative that somebody will probably come up with around the midterms, if not the next cycle, is national service, and to bring it back in a new and reimagined way that builds on Teach for America and a lot of other things, and of course military, but a lot of non-military branches of service are expanding, creating a new branch of service that is not militaristic. It is. In terms of community standards. But let me tell you something, Rye. Here's what I can do, okay? Rye Barcott has his book called Courage Can Save Us. It comes out tomorrow. You should buy it. You should check out online the With Honor movement. Let's call it movement. Let's graduate it. And check it out. We're celebrating 250 years. What the fuck does the birthday mean if we don't build on what got us here and figure out how to make us better? Veterans have to be a part of it. And he's right. They've been underrepresented for a long time for bad reasons, and nothing's gotten better. Rye, I'm always a call away if I can help with the work. Thank you for using this opportunity, and I wish you well.
I so appreciate it, Chris, and thank you for that plug. All of my proceeds as an author are going to our nonprofit With Honor, and I appreciate you and your listeners.
Brother, be well. Thank you for trying to help the rest of us.